Good evening, everyone, and welcome to another episode of Enter Middle Earth. I'm your host here, Captain Anvilrath, and your conduit into the backbone of Middle Earth, here with our trusty advisor and companion, Bear. And in this episode, we may, in fact, do a little bit of crafting, but we are finally going to enter Bree for some questing. And I really remember that the very first time that I went to Bree, way back, gosh, 10 years ago when I first created the character. The very first time I entered Bree, felt like you were finally dealing with big folk problems. Even though we had defeated brigands before that were in camps and settlements, while we were in Staddle, and while we were in the surrounding areas, Bree is your first encounter to a big city or a big town. And so when you start doing missions for the people here in Bree, it just feels like you've moved on from small town problems to big city problems, where there are numerous parts of town here in Bree. Bree's not just a simple one-trick pony, so to speak. You've got a market district here. This back here, it's either this one or this one is Thiever's Alley. You also have where the Lore Master is located. There are a lot of different parts to town. So there's a lot more to it than the eye first lets on. So as we first come into Bree today, we have a lot of these are really quick quests that just really introduce us to Bree. This one is a pipeweed delivery. I think it is west of Bree. Southern Bree Fields, yeah. All the way out here to Adso's camp is where we're going to deliver this pipeweed. But second Watcher Heatstraw, I believe is what his name is just down the road here, and we have 3 quests to turn into him. The first one is into Bree. So it says Lolo Wending Way mentions that Breetown is a flutter with rumors of shadows growing and refugees pouring in from the south. He told you to seek out Second Watcher Heatstraw if you were looking to continue your assistance of Breeland. We also have a report from Straddle, Second Watcher Heatstraw. Watcher Redweed, would like word of your victory against the goblins carried to Second Watcher Heatstraw of Bree. And I believe that this is in response to what we took care of in the Midgewater Marshes, when we took down the 2 chieftains. And this one is your experience has grown, and it's time to move forward with your training. So, part of the introduction, and then we will probably end this episode going to talk to Barlam and Butterbur and the Prancing Pony, and if we don't get to questing in this one, it may be a separate video altogether, because after we have ventured west of Bree, alright, so here we are in Bree. We started out here, Archet and Dale, came south to Combe, worked Staddle, the Midgewater Marshes, Chetwood, north. And once we get into the Weather Hills, we're getting into the lowlands. We encounter a level 18 plus elite soldiers over there. And that's later in the game once we start moving east. We haven't even gotten to the main storyline yet, really. So, once we move west of Bree, and especially into the Barrow Downs, we're going to stop finding copper, and we're going to find Barrow Iron, which is the next level. So, that's why we're probably going to condense our crafting down. If not in this episode, then definitely in a special next episode that's just going to show how we're going to upgrade our crafting here. So let's go ahead and take this to Second Watcher Heatstraw. Destination Breeland. Just turn these in real quick.
Greetings.
Finish now. Report from Staddle.
Greetings.
You bring word from the Watchers at Staddle? Very good, very good. I'll take a look at that report, if you please. Ah, you bring good tidings. Goblins were a most unexpected threat, but it seems you dealt with them most expediently. And a good thing, too. My men are spread too thinly to defend against all the dangers that have been raising up lately. You have my thanks again. Perhaps you may find work here in Bree as well. Finish that. And I half expected to just straight up receive a quest from him. And since we didn't, we may do more in this episode than I had planned. I forgot. But so what we'll do is we're going to go ahead and we're going to make our way out towards Adzo's camp. We're going to go north here in Bree. We'll pass the Prancing Pony, where we'll find Barlam and Butterbur, as well as Strider. They've got a nice little theater there. I've never actually seen a show there. I wonder if that's something new that they've added to this. That'd be really cool. They're always finding new ways during all of their different special events to have you interacting with the world, and it's just a lot of fun. On an old account from two basically owners of the game ago, back when I had a level 47 lore master that I had trained to specialize in beasts, and I was on a rampage collecting mounts. I had one from almost every event. I had a 5-year anniversary mount, some really, really pretty things, really pretty mounts. Oh, and look, we can go to Hangstacer Farms, and we've got the Swift Travel. What I wanted to do most importantly was to just go ahead and grab that stable, because we don't have the stable unlocked for Adzo's camp, but we will when we get out there. So this is a rather long journey, so until we have explored more of the quests in between here and Adzo's camp, I'm going to go ahead and cut forward to where we get to Adzo's camp. Alright, and we're back. And we're here at Adzo's camp, which is a camping and settlement where they are building a small camping settlement where they're building a small settlement. That sounds incredibly redundant. Taking some lessons from binging with Babish apparently. But we'll go ahead and we'll discover the stable master. How can I be of service? We'll probably buy our ride back to West Bree. And I believe I have the riding skill. If not, then I have the means to purchase it. So we will go ahead and get ourselves a mount and grab one while we're up at Hangstacer Farms. Now, Adzo, hey man.
Don't take a moment of your time.
Alright, so. Alright, making a place of my own this is Adzo, this is his camp. Making a place of my own took an unexpected turn not so long ago, and I am loath to tell my workers what has happened. I hope that you can help me with this matter. The satchel holds the last payment I need to make to ensure the safety of the folks here and the sanctity of this soon-to-be splendid landmark. Just take it to the old Sweetgrass farm, a little ways north of here, and give it over to the man who answers the door. It may be Bill Fernie, that is, or one of his helpers. Bill said he'll only be there at night, so don't waste your time hanging around during the day to catch a glimpse of him. Just knock on the door or ring the bell and hand over the satchel. Hear me? Alright. And so as I arrived here at the camp, obviously, we've got a campfire, there's provisioner, a stable master, so we can get here quickly to and fro, a grocer, and there were a couple of quests available. And so I found it funny that what brought us out here actually was being a drug mule. We brought pipe weed out to Roger Hawthorne. Boom. Got it done. So, simple as that. Alright. They want us to ring the bell at that farm over there once it gets dark. Since it's not dark yet, we'll take the stable master back to West Bree.
Greetings.
And we will make our way towards Hangstacer Farms. And that is a pretty horse. I don't know if I'm a fan of the saddle. I know it's just red, but it just seems so princessy, or like I should be a musketeer. I don't know. I'm not a musketeer. And I am also anxious or excited to get a new sword. Some nice two-handed sword. Despite the damage this axe might do, I am much more of a sword person. Captain Andalrath himself is much more of a sword person. So, we want to get something that resembles ice from Game of Thrones, which premieres tonight. Happy Sunday, guys. Sunday fun day. Game of Thrones, if you don't know, was George R.R. Martin's work is heavily influenced by J.R.R. Tolkien. But where J.R.R. Tolkien seemed to lack detail in his financial and realism, the realism of the world around, and focused more on the fantasy, the mystical, and really the emotional journey. Game of Thrones asks, you say, so I suppose Aragorn was a good king in all of his years. Yes, but what are his tax policies? You see, so there's a difference in the way that the two ring, but in somewhat the grittiness and the reality of the worlds, they're not unalike. Okay, for instance, all right, let me give you an example here. As you know, in Game of Thrones, we have Jaime Lannister and Cersei, who are brother and sister, and we have a level of incest there where they produced children. And in Game of Thrones, not in Game of Thrones, in J.R.R. Tolkien's literature, the children of Huron, there's a level of incest there as well. So, and from our main characters, in fact. And then there's also some pulls from Norse mythology in both of these, which I love that. I'm like 5% Viking, 95% Irish American, obviously. And we are not far from Hangstacer Farms. He'll make this right up here on the road, along the fence, and it will be along our left. And we are passing beasts at our level. Okay, 18. Still 3 levels above us is giving us orange name titles, which the color of their names corresponds to their difficulty in relation to our level. So these gray ones are like levels, more than 8 or 9 below us. And you're usually things that are passive or not a threat. And things that are white are the same, are the same level. Then you have it gets yellow as they get above us, more blue as it gets closer to us from below, and then you go from orange to red when you get like 3, 4, 5, 6 levels high.
Would you do something for me?
Oh, that's a level 20 quest. We can come and get that later. Once we're up here, basically when we're up here, it'll be when we'll have to come back up here, I believe, in response to a rock soup quest that we'll get in the Lone Lands, if I'm not mistaken. So,
What can I do for you?
we can turn into Hang Station Farms.
How may I help you?
Okay, so in order to get the Gray Steed. But okay, so let us take a look at what they offer here. Alright, so we've got the Blonde Sorrel, pretty Chestnut, and the Bay. The Chestnut seems like a just such a basic color. I think I'm going to go with Bay. It has a very rangery, like we're going to be Black Death. From Good Gas too. It's going to be great.
Greetings.
Oh yeah, then there's the Blood Bay. Hold on, that's what we didn't see over here. There's the Blood Bay, over there. Okay, let's go take a look. That Blood Bay. Ooh, the dark brown, as opposed to the chestnut. Interesting. Oh, if this were live, and there were any viewers, then we'd vote. I'm going to go with the Bay. If we decide on something different later, I can come back and buy another one. It's really simple. I'm not going to be upset if I have to buy another mount. Oh, no. Boom. That Bay Steed. Alright, so, okay, to go to mounts, we've got our Bay Horse. Now I can finally put this where it belongs. This is, I don't know why, it's just always where I keep my steed slot. And we're gonna name her. Let's name her. Let's name her, let's name her. Oh, Hawthorne. Anvilrath, Hawthorne. You know what, I'm gonna keep that name. But I'm going to add an E. So it looks right. Done. Hawthorne. Boom. Real quick, let's check on Gil's quest. Yeah, it's level 20 as well. We'll skip that one right there. Alright, everyone. Okay, so we can essentially head back.
What do you need?
Towards Westbury. Alright guys, we have our horse, Hawthorne, the Bay Steed. We'll finally get around with a little bit of haste now, at level 15. And I will see you guys in Westbury in just a second. Alright, we're back. We didn't quite make it to Westbury before I stopped because I saw 2 other quests that I could acquire, and I remembered that these quests, this place right here is located just northwest of Bree along the road, and these quests were what I was talking about when you first feel like you're playing with the big dogs. If I remember correctly, Chief Watcher Grimbriar sends us over to this farm, which has been taken over by brigands, where we do some investigation and basically some slaughtering of brigands.
Speak with you a moment.
And here we go. So, My job is to guard Bree. I don't have the men to waste patrolling the countryside, but of late I've had reports of brigand raids near and around the town. So I moved to this location to help keep closer watch. I need someone to look into these rumors, and I've coin to spare for anyone willing to help. There have always been a few outlaws in the hills dales north of town, but it seems that recently they've grown both more numerous and more bold. If you could find out what is going on, it would be appreciated. Carefully, once these outlaws would flee any armed man, but now they are more prone to attack without warning. The farm across the road seems to be overrun by the brigands. You could start your investigation there. I might increase the... That would have been a little easier to read, maybe. Boom. So we're going to find out who these brigands have blood. Hey,
Is a moment of your time too much to ask?
We've got to talk to the Smithies of Bree. Alright, if I were to ask them about my blade, they would just ignore me. You, though, by the look of you, are a great warrior. If you were to ask them about my blade, they'll be honest with you. How about it? Can you find my stolen blade? Alright, so... He thinks that one of the smiths in town might have stolen his blade. Which, to me, doesn't... I just don't understand why they would do that, but perhaps. So, alright, let's hope that we are a high enough level to take on some of these guys. It says Sharky's men seems to be the same level that I am. Oh, they're even one level below us. Well, let's take out some of these guys, shall we? Go get them, Bear. Aha, found a strange medallion. Alright, let's go ahead and go back. Back when this game first started, it was amazing to go from okay, so now it's like you just find the copper deposits into the copper ingots. Before, you had to do, it was copper and tin together. You had to have two different ones. You had to have two bars of two different kinds of bars for one crafting item. So then when you moved up to the next tier, and the only thing to get to mine was either silver or barrow iron, it was amazing. You only needed one ingredient for your form from then on. So, alright, we brought the strange medallion to Sharky. Oh, and let's take a look at what it looks like. Are you going to show it to us? Nope, they're not. Dang. Okay. Since we're not outlaws able to afford such things as medallions, even the constables don't have badges. And who is this Sharky fellow, anyway? This is very disturbing. Your find seems to suggest an organization that we haven't seen before in these brigands.
Might I take a moment of your time?
I have a spy among the brigands who may be helpful in divining the truth nature of this Sharky. I will send him a message instructing him to come to a certain hill not far from here. Meet him there and ask him about Sharky and his plans. The meeting place is by a grey rock in a small stand of trees directly north of Freetown. My spy has no news to share. We will need to find another means of learning Sharky's plans. So we're going to go meet the spy, and we will be given something to sell. Alright. Either way, let's do it. Oh, gosh. We have a horse now. Hawthorne! Which just increases our movement speed by 62%. And then later you can get mounts and war mounts that have sprint options, and that increase your speed by quite a bit more. Alright, let's see. Here's the friggin' informer.
I don't know anything. I'm sure.
We must be quick. I think they suspect something. Wait, what's that sound? Look out! Here they come! And we got some brigands coming in. We got these guys. So he's leaving to never be seen again, apparently. Alright, let's go take the notes to Grimbriar. So here's the note, so we'll read it before we take it to him. Alright, since Sharky's men have come up from the south and taken over, the local brigands have changed from being common thieves and robbers into something more like a small army. Dirty and ill-equipped though they are, by combining their numbers, they may be stronger than any of the town guards. The brilliant brigands of past times might have been crude and dirty outlaws, but they were still men of Bree for the most part, with relatives in the towns and farms of the region. So they weren't all that inclined to heedless violence. But now Sharky's men have changed everything. No dissent or squeamishness is permitted, and under their brutal fists, the brigands of the country have become far more dangerous. Seems that Sharky's men are gathering their forces for some important task, and I am afraid they intend no simple thieving. It may be that they mean to take over all of Breeland. I know little of these men from the south. They are almost all ill-favored brutes, but they are well armed and skilled fighters. They do not trust the native Breeland outlaws with their secrets, but they revere a leader that they call Sharky. I am sure that Sharky is not yet in Breeland, but it may be that he will come soon. Where do these men come from, and where is Sharky now? I do not know this for sure, for I have never traveled beyond Breeland and do not know the Southlands. But these men sometimes speak a place called Isengard. They come from beyond Andrath, maybe as far as Dunland. It seemed from what I have overheard that they are rivals with some band that they call the Iron Crown, but I know even less of this. Alright, so for whatever reason, I am under the impression that the Iron Crown, if I'm remembering correctly, is the Witch King's people, right? Or something. I don't know. That for whatever reason, that is what is coming to mind when I think of the Iron Crown. So for that to be their rivals, that's interesting.
What's a need?
And for this, I'm going to be choosing one that is most expensive because we're just going to sell it. It's not better than the equipment we have. Now listen here. I'm not going to invite the aid of those rangers out of the wild. The men of Bree are capable of defending their own lands from the threats they face, and we will not rely on strange folk for assistance. This information speaks of the captain who led the raid on Dogwood's farm and his current location. We have a chance to strike a telling blow against these brigands and find out more about them. It appears that the leader established a camp within a thick copse of trees behind the knoll to the west. The knoll in question is to the south of Dogwood's farm. Let us strike this blow for the men of Breeland. So collect the notes and return them to Chief Watcher Thunberg. Alright, Rogue's Gallery. Interesting. Alright folks, and suddenly it's night, so we're going to go ahead and do Adso's delivery, since it's night, and see if we can't move that along. And then we're going to come back to Bree, and I'm going to do a real quick little tour of Bree before we start to get into the main storyline, I think. So, go ahead and bring Hawthorne up, since we have a horse now. How crazy is that? We have a horse. Oh, Shafui. And I always forget that that your horse disappears when you hit the water. And then if you didn't see that little faulty tumble graphic there when I came down hard, I was up like I didn't even fall. It was pretty funny. Maybe that's just the ranger in me, I guess. And we'll go ahead and we'll bring Bear back. Mark him as our fellow shield brother there. And we will get moving. We'll go ahead and take the road. It's always a lot safer. Pretty much if you're on the road, you're not going to be engaged by mobs, because they generally place them far enough away from the road that you just won't enter their target range. Came real close to entering the target range of that Splinter Tusk Mauler there. Bam. Let's check it out. Here's
What's
Bill.
your name?
Soon Sharky's men will have all of Bree well in hand. With cowards like that little worm Adso's under heel, there's no question of that. You just tell Adso that this payment has been received, that he better receive another one, that he better have another one ready next week, or it will go badly for him. Aha. And I sensed there was a bit of extortion going on here. Just figures. Alright. And report back to Adso then. And really quickly, actually, I'm going to customize the UI here. Options. Where is that? UI. Here's your interface settings. Wait. But where's the... There's just a... Customize... Oh, control slash. That's where it is. Okay. So, control slash... Oh, control slash down. Right, control slash, control slash, aha! Now we can move our mount. Right, mount panel display. I'm gonna move you over here, buddy. Bam! There we go. That's that. I just didn't want it right in the middle there. It seemed very in the way. Report back to ADSO. I don't know how they're keeping this moving, ADSO. Another payment? That was supposed to be the last. I'll be driven to ruin that rotten... But enough of my blather. I shouldn't burden you with my problems. No, I should thank you for your help, friend. Truth be told, I was a bit frightened to go out there at night myself. If I could impose on you again, I have some true debts to pay, and to a nicest of the folk. Well, let's see what Azzy's got in mind for us. I do not know what to do. The Braggins told me to pay them 3 equal payments, and that they would spare my workers and myself. I held my part of the bargain. Now they want more. I haven't anything left after sending workers to Buckland for supplies, and the meager rewards I can offer folk for helping out there, here and there. I cannot allow my workers to suffer from my mistake. I fear I may need to stop work on the inn, but Chief Watcher Grimbrier is watching against the brigands here, so I must ask, would you be willing to help me send a message to these brigands? I hear that you have already done some work against the brigands before. I am sorry if I am mistaken, but these are evil men, and they must be stopped. If you are willing to help, could you return to the old Sweetgrass Farm and send a message to these brigands? The old Sweetgrass Farm is a short distance northeast of here. Having just been there, you didn't have to even tell me. And boom, we're off. We'll go ahead and, oh wait, as soon as we did that one, it opened some new quests to us. Let's go ahead and grab this.
Be ignored.
Aha, 4 heads. And something from the provisioner. Supplies and demands.
Would you do something for me?
Huh. So he already knows about this guy, already knows. Buckley Shepherd already knows about the brigands. Already those knaves up near Old Sweetgrass Farm have taken tools and coin purses from the workers here. Those who keep their faith in ADSO. And now ADSO puts his faith in you. How do you feel about helping ADSO see the worth of his workers? So he wants us to collect the tools and coin purses from these brigands that we have up north here. Okay. So alright. Some boar heads. We'll just kill the ones along the way here. Boom. There's one. Let's get that one. Oof. There we go. A Southern Warrior. Not even sure from what. Go in on that bowman there. Once he's engaged, we'll sneak in behind him here. Two out of the 4 coin purses we need. We're stalking around. Now we've got our tools too. I didn't realize that. I was missing that. There. Attack that one, I'll attack this one. Boom. We got ourselves a level up there too. Alright. So the morning. Yeah, she's gonna come right at us. Perfect. Oh look. Okay. So motivating speech. And it raises our morale. I remember that. I remember this skill. Pretty dope. Motivating speech is already activated. How awesome is that? And then what's this one? This is moves poison disease wars in from nearby allies. Very cool. Boom. I knew it would. Dismiss bear. Bring him back. Stronger. Better than ever. Alright, there we go. Got ourselves a bear, folks. Okay, so we have, but how many brigands left to defeat? 3. Let's get these last 3 brigands. Bear, why don't you go ahead and take down the Splinter Tusk there. And I'm going to go hunting Southern Bowmen. Give him a little. Alright. Now we can attack this Southern Bowman. we'll get whatever boars we can on our way east, I think, to Rogues Gallery, where we collect the notes. Hey, there's one. Oh, these curious bears. Southern Raider. Get him. Get her. Get her. I think we found the location of our little notes here. Tattered pack. I wonder if we'll find notes. And there's the Southern Leader. Alright, with over 1,000 health, this guy thinks he is oh shit. We got the notes we're looking for. Check out that 7 skirmisher. Boom. And just like that. Let's go ahead and return these notes. To Chief Watcher Grim Ryan.
What's in here?
Alright. So, the plans establish that Sharky wants to establish a strong foothold here in Breeland. It also tells us their largest encampment outside of the Vale of Andrath at a place west of here that they call the Brigand's Watch. The brigand captain there passes orders out to his lieutenants that come directly from Sharky. If we can get those notes.
Yes, wait with you a moment.
Without your help, we draw ever closer to shutting out this upstart Sharky. We are closing in more and more on his location and the size of his force. We now know that the Brigand's Watch to the west of here in the foothills of Breeland is a staging ground for future assaults. The Brigand's captain hands out orders from Sharky himself to his lieutenants. Likely they are kept somewhere safe, a lockbox, or even on his person. We need those orders. Head to Brigand's Watch and get those orders. And of course, naturally, will accept that. We might not head there right away. Alright, and...
Could I speak with you a moment?
And he's saying basically, if we're going to Brigand's Watch, we may as well get the stolen goods that they've been taking from the people. So we're going to go ahead into Bree, and we're going to do a little tour of it. During this tour, we'll also be checking off at least one, if I remember correctly, at least one of our deed points for history of the Dunedain. Or Dunedain, depending on who you are, how you say it. So here we are in the North Bree. We've got a small crafting area here, and we may experience some lag for the simple fact that there is always going to be more players running around here in Bree than most other places. So I think that there's a back little alley here that I'm going to want to take that will take us south through Bree and allow us to discover thing for the Dunedain. Oh, and we've got cool. And I also was wrong about where the road was, so let's go ahead and hop right on here. So if I recall, that's the bank. Yep, Freetown Vault. Weapons and armor shop. And we're going to be keeping our eyes out for little back ways through Bree. I'm going to check this area back here. Aha! The old stone ruins. Alright, as you can see, the ancient crest. You have discovered the ancient crest of the Dunedain carved within the ruins. Cool. Alright. So, naturally, we went from the old stone fort there, ruins, to the old stone gate. And as you can tell, there's a difference between this old Dunedainian stone ruins and the new stone, basically. And we've entered the slums. Beggar's Alley are very much the slums of this place. You see kids playing. The people we are here to protect. Now, I believe this is the Beggar's Alley, is like where you would find the house that the Thieves Guild stays at. And there's pretty cool places. There's this one place here called the Hunter's Lodge, which is sort of, I'm pretty sure that's like where the Men of Bree faction comes from, but they're all like Dunedain Rangers and stuff. Inside the little Hunter's Lodge there, they've got, you know, some special items that you can buy once you gain certain reputation levels with the Men of Bree. But more than anything, I love the look and the feel, and there's very rarely anyone in there. So, you know, like if you went to the Prancing Pony and you were trying to have a conversation with friends that you didn't want to have in IM and you were role-playing, it's impossible sometimes to keep up with everyone because there's so many people in there all talking at once. But in the Hunter's Lodge, you can have privacy. So I've hosted a number of kinship meetings in the Hunter's Lodge. It was where we did a lot of our role-playing as to like our headquarters and where we'd go to take a break and talk about our next mission and, you know, when we would head out from Bree. And then just west of Bree, there's this really, I mean, well, actually not just west, but far west of Bree, there's this really dope old ruin that is one of the very few places that when you discover it outside of the map, that it doesn't show up as a point of interest. So you literally have to know exactly where it's at on the map to get back there pretty much every time. Otherwise, you don't have anything to guide you there. So there's, I can't remember whether it's, there's Ostbarendor and there's Ostbarenor. So one of them has a D, one of them doesn't. And one of them, I want to say it's Ostbarendor, is the one that is out to the far west. We held a number of tournaments and events, special events, kinship events out there. We role-played that it was our fort in Breeland. And so we had our kinship members that were lower levels, basically, you know, 10, under level 25, would be in charge of keeping the peace, so to speak, in Bree. And that would be where they were at. and we would do what we called supply drops, and we had fishing tournaments, all sorts of stuff. We had a lot of fun as a kinship there. And so we've come down to the southern gate, and I don't think I have the southern gate stable master unlocked, so we'll do that now.
What can I do for you?
Apparently we did. Okay. So as you can see, lots of people around here. Over there is the trade house, the auction house. It's basically a player, peer-based trading. So when I'm looking for something special or something outside of my crafting class, I usually go there to look for it. And we are going to finish out this episode by just checking in with Barlam and Butterbur, and our next episode will be a little introduction to crafting. So I'll show you how we're going about upgrading our armor, and then from there the following episode will be the meat of our introduction. We'll be stepping into book 1, the main quest of The Lord of the Rings. Oh, and you know what? What am I doing here? What I want to do is I want to actually stay on my horse right here at this feeding trough. Alright, and let's go in the back way, like it's not our first time here. Okay. Stay here, Bear. Bear, unfortunately, does not have a walking pace, so he can sometimes make it very difficult for us to do anything. Alright, right now, the prancing pony is surprisingly empty. There's one AFK person in here right now. That is practically unheard of. Wow. Okay. Oh, Barlam and Butterbur. No time for tours. We'll go ahead and continue that quest. And we'll go to...
One thing drives out another.
We'll take the service. So many people coming and going these days. There is one guest, though, one I'd rather do without. But coin keeps a room, and he comes with coin enough to pay a bill. Brooding sort, like the darker corners of the inn, and speaks to no one. Most people are a bit afeared of his ilk. Barlam lowers his voice. He's one of them rangers, he is. Calls himself Strider. From the common room, turn left down the hall. Keep on until you can only go right. Follow straight down the hall until you're at the foot of the stairs. Strider is in the room to the right of those stairs. Alright. And so, naturally, most of the inns and taverns that you come to have their very own special. Okay, so we've got two of them here, Blind Troll Stout and Barlaman's Best. We'll have one of each, I think, and I'm going to load up on a little bit of ice and wine. I'm buying 10. Oh, I don't have enough room to do that. Well, let's prepare some things. And let's sell what we've got in here that we won't be using. We'll go ahead and sell that. That too, that too, that too, that too. Oh. go. Now we can get our ice and wine. 10. That's fine. Alright. Let's stand next to the fire, shall we? Oh, the bard.
What can I do for you?
A basic bassoon. They've increased the number of things that you can get. So a lute of ages, a student's fiddle. I'm gonna get a basic fiddle. Cool. Boom. And I have a fiddle. And it's equipped on me all the time, apparently. That's funny. A little fiddle playing, shall we? And no, that's not a song, it's just me messing around. Alright, cool. Got ourselves a little fiddle. And let's check out these alcohol drinks, shall we? So, we got ourselves, let's try the Blind Troll Stout first. Boom. And let's see. You are quite merry. Well, aren't we then? And Parliament's Best. There we go. You muddled your wits. That's what I was looking for there. Alright, folks. With some muddled wits, we'll dance to the music here in the Prancing Pony. Alright. Wow. When you muddle your wits, we can't even, the camera won't center. Everything's double vision and blurry. It's like, this is the best we can do, apparently. Wow. Well, there you have it, folks. We've muddled our wits before we go see Strider, and we'll see you next time on Enter Middle Earth. As always, it's been Captain Handelrath. And if you haven't already, like, subscribe. We also have a Patreon page for the channel. It's just my family members right now. They don't care that I shout them out. So let's get some real fans on here. We've got a lot of cool content that we're bringing to the Patreon page. I just want someone to share it with. All right, bye.